Hi, this is Bill Frank with KADY-TV, and I'm reporting from the Ronald Reagan Library, and I'm joined by Mr. John Cox, who is here not only to hear Mr. Brokaw speak, but also has a connection, a legacy to the past with President Ronald Reagan. Tell us about that.
Well, I was Chief of Staff to Barry Goldwater Jr. in the when he was in the U.S. Congress, but I started working with Ronald Reagan when I was in college. We worked together on the Goldwater campaign in 1964, so I go back a long ways and had a chance to work with him over the years. And actually, I ended up covering him as a reporter in the 1966 campaign. In fact, with Lou Cannon will be on this panel today.
Oh, that is great. And who were you reporting for?
I was working for KXRX Radio in San Jose.
Yes, I know it well. Great. Well, now you started working with the campaign. You must have been, what, all of 5 or 6 years old?
No, actually, I think I was 20 during that campaign. But I mean, the thing today, I think, if you look at this conference, what's very clear is that Ronald Reagan was based what he did upon a series of values, and a number of the speakers at this forum made that point really strong. And there were basically, I'd say, 3 principal values. First was his focus on foreign policy and communism and national defense. That was a key element of what he believed in. Secondly was understanding the value of free markets and how our government must get under control, and we want a government that works for us, not that costs the public a lot of money. And the third thing were his values with his deep faith in Christianity, which was brought up at the beginning in his life with his mother, Nell. And those 3 points basically, I think, determined his presidency, determined the kind of man he was. And if you follow the issues throughout his life, and it began when he was governor, began even when he was first campaigning for Eisenhower back in the 50s. So these values shaped him and what he became.
Well, that's true. And one of the beautiful things about this symposium is that it crosses generations, people who may not have even been born when Ronald Reagan was president. What values do you want to impart to not only the younger generation, but perhaps even to our politicians in Washington?
I mean, I think what Reagan did, he based what he believed in on, I think, objective analysis. Economics today is so much based on mathematics, and we can get to a fact where we can objectively look at our world. It's not all relative. So there can be something called truth and not relative truth. And I think Reagan sought to do that. And I think that is probably the one thing that the next generation is going to have to do, is search for facts, search for truth, and make informed judgments, because the future of the country is based upon that kind of decision making and not on relativism where we sort of think we know what the answer to something is.
And that's what these symposiums are for. Mr.
Absolutely.
Cox, thank you so much for joining us. This is Bill Frank reporting for KADY-TV.